Generative artificial intelligence isn't chaotic, sudden, or unexpected. It follows a pattern.
I built bots before they were cool. From Silicon Valley to Moscow.
I honestly think that we software developers view artificial intelligence differently than other creative people. I think I'm pretty typical, and technology has changed quickly enough where I have had to redefine what I do about every 10 years, to the point of even going back to school to pursue art in my 30s. So for us in technology fields, change feels like progress. In contrast, AI is hitting industries that haven't seen real change for generations. AI can be pretty offensive when it collides with tradition and exclusivity. So for these people, the change is pretty disruptive. Whereas artificial intelligence impact on software development has been consistent with developments in hardware and software. Early digital programming was brutal. In the 1940s, there was barely a distinction between hardware and software, and programming was done by wiring the backplane. These machines filled buildings, and they were loud, mechanical, and fragile. The word bug wasn't even a metaphor. An actual moth stopped a Navy computer dead in its tracks. By the 1950s, researchers had already conceptualized artificial intelligence and coined the term. And by the 1960s, people were using large language models to translate between Russian and English. Up until the early 70s, to participate in computing, you had to be part of a large organization. IBM, Bell Labs, the Pentagon, these were the gatekeepers at the time. And then computers shrank from buildings to rooms to cabinets, and finally to the top of your desk. Suddenly you didn't need the big institution. People could have their own personal computers. The microprocessor didn't just remove technical barriers, it removed cultural barriers. Now anybody could participate. When I entered engineering school in 1978, this was my first computer, a Kim 1. Up until this time, software developers sat at terminals connected to computers, probably hosted miles away. In contrast, when I came up, we would have computer labs where we worked two to a team, but we had our own computer. We could program it, we could solder to it, we could break it, we could fix it. In any case, the gatekeepers over computing lost control. Now individuals could participate in the technology on their own terms. The real impact of the microprocessor was not technical, it was societal. It shifted power from capital to people who had a few skills. As I said in other videos, disruptive technologies caused gatekeepers to lose control. These were the years that spawned Steve Wozniak, Bill Gates, Michael Dell. These people were building products in their garages and dorm rooms that would take down industry giants. This was the birth of Silicon Valley and the birth of venture capital as we know it. Suddenly, the people who understood the technology could scale themselves into much larger entities. That was pretty disruptive, but things continued to progress. The early Kim 1s were a bear to program, and then assembly language changed that. Suddenly you could think about ones and zeros instead of voltages. The assembler didn't replace effort, it scaled effort. Then came high-level languages. These languages took care of the tedious bits like memory management, power management, I/O, storage, memory, and they allowed programmers to focus on the actual problem as opposed to the solution to the problem. Next came operating systems, DOS, CP/M, Unix. Now you could write code once and run it on multiple machines. Then came the internet and everything went nonlinear. You weren't programming a computer anymore, you were programming an army of computers. This gave humans superpowers. Communication, distribution, markets, culture, all at a global scale. So what does AI do? AI replaces the connective tissue that makes ideas expensive. For example, I can't specialize in everything. Nobody can. So AI can handle the things that I might understand but don't have mastery of. This doesn't replace programmers. It allows programmers to focus on intention. In other words, it scales our abilities just like a pneumatic nail gun would scale the abilities of a carpenter. I've been writing software for 45 years, and with AI, I have never been able to operate at such a high level. I still design, supervise, and test the work, but the time-consuming grind is no longer a bottleneck. That's the pattern. The programmer trades low-level execution for high-level intention. This isn't disruption, this is progress. AI does not kill computer programming. It continues the curve that started on day one. The end game of automation isn't necessarily fewer programmers. It's programmers working at a higher level. If this resonates, like and subscribe. In my practice, I develop autonomous bots, and I try to explain artificial intelligence to people. Thank you.